In this video, we're talking about 5 major stimulus check changes, as the landscape is certainly very different. And for those of you who are low income or fixed income beneficiaries receiving Social Security retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, spousal, SSI, VA, or RRB, yes, this also does pertain to you. We've got a lot to talk about here in the video. Let's jump into it and discuss the details right away. First off, can I ask a huge favor of you? Please make sure to like the video with the big thumbs up button down below. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your support. Also, please make sure to subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't done so yet with the big subscribe button down below. Again, thank you so much. Really appreciate your support. And let's get into it and talk about it. All right, so we're talking about stimulus checks here in this video, and I do want to bring this to your attention because, like I said at the beginning of this video, the landscape has changed massively over the last few months here, and I want to let you know where we currently sit with this. Now, I want to explain everything that I'm talking about and that I'm watching right now. I'm going to give you a brief description of everything. I've got a list here of at least 5 different things that I'm watching very closely, and be real with you, the list is actually much longer than just 5, but in my opinion, these are possibly the 5 most important. So I want to buzz through the list right away because got a lot here, and I want to make this video relatively timely. I don't want this to be a 30-minute video. All right, so number 1, in my opinion, this is possibly the most important: unemployment, right? Number 1 is unemployment. You've probably heard me talk about this before. One time per month, the first Friday of every month, we get the non-farm payroll number, otherwise known as the unemployment report or the jobs number, right? So this report is released and it shows us what's going on with hiring and firing and unemployment in the United States, labor participation rates and average hourly earnings and all kinds of things like this. It gives us all of this data. Well, what we've seen here over the last several months is that unemployment is climbing. It's going up. Yes, it is slow, but it simply means that unemployment is going up. That's not a good sign for the overall economy, okay? So you've heard me talk about that before. This is possibly, in my opinion, the most important report, simply because it gives us a big, broad look at the overall economy. I mean, it's simple as this. If unemployment is going up, then we see a weakening economy. If unemployment is going down, we see a strengthening economy. Well, with unemployment going up, we're seeing a weakening economy, which is, again, no surprise at all. Now, quick side note here. I just want to throw this out there really fast because you might be listening to this thinking, wait, I thought you were talking about stimulus checks. What are you even talking about? You're talking about jobs. Here's the thing. Stimulus checks do not come as a result of us asking, begging, pleading, praying, crossing our fingers, nothing like that. I know a lot of us want to think that that's how stimulus checks come, right? No, it's not. They're always 100% predicated on the economy. Every single time, 100%, it's all economic based, okay? That's why I'm talking about jobs here, because it relates to the overall economy, and that's where stimulus checks come from. When the economy is down the tubes, stimulus checks come up the tubes. Does that make sense? That sounds kind of, weird, but you get what I'm saying here, okay? That's what this is all about. All right, so anyway, that is number 1, is unemployment. It's ticking higher, and not necessarily a good sign for the overall economy. It's still slow, still getting there, but yep, if unemployment goes, much higher from where we're currently sitting now, it's going to be a very different picture, okay? So just think of this as well. I mean, for every 1% that the unemployment rate goes up, that's millions of people that have lost their job. It's a lot. It's a big deal, okay? All right, so anyway, that is number 1. Number 2, inflation, okay? So obviously inflation has been a major problem over the last couple of years. When it topped out in June of 2022, over 9%. It's been a major problem for all of us. It's made things way more expensive. The cost of living has gone up massively. How much money the people are saving and spending is disproportionate. I mean, in other words, people are saving no money. They're spending everything. It's a bad situation. But inflation is kind of back down to where the Federal Reserve wants it. It's still a little bit elevated above the 2% target that they've had, but it's pretty close. I mean, it's not there yet, but it's pretty close, right? So this is pretty good to know, because think of it this way. Back when inflation was, say, I don't know, 9%, do you think that they were like, whoa, let's print another $350 billion and call it a stimulus check? Not a chance. They weren't going to do that, right? Now when inflation was that high, no way. But now that inflation is back down, a little bit above their 2%, it wouldn't be that big of a deal anymore. I mean, here's the thing. We don't want inflation like what we saw the last couple of years here, but when inflation's back down, now the argument is a lot easier. Hey, we can print a bunch of money. It's not going to, jack up inflation more than it's already at now. So it makes the argument, it makes the conversation easier when inflation is lower. Make sense? All right, so that's number 2. Number 3, Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve has been coming out cutting interest rates. What does this mean? It simply means that the Federal Reserve believes that inflation is down within the realm of where they want it to be. They're also signaling to us that, hey, the economy is weakening. The jobs are the jobs numbers, the unemployment numbers are softening. In other words, it's not looking good, like I talked about in point number 1. And that's what the Federal Reserve is signaling to us with their cutting of interest rates. So with them cutting interest rates, that is stimulative to the overall economy, because what happens when interest rates go down, it simply means the cost to borrow money is cheaper. Money is cheaper. In other words, when you borrow money, as in you float, debt on a credit card, or you get a personal loan or a line of credit or an auto loan or a mortgage or whatever it happens to be, that debt, because of a lower interest rate, is now cheaper. It costs us less money to borrow money. So when money is costing less to borrow it, now more people go out and borrow money. And when they spend it, what do? They stimulate the economy. That's literally what it's all about. So anyway, as the Federal Reserve is cutting interest rates, this is more stimulative to the economy, but it's also signaling to us that, hey, the economy is not necessarily all that strong, and we've got to start cutting it now, as in interest rates, so that we don't get ahead of ourselves here and the economy crashes and burns, and then we all sit here and watch it and say, whoa, knew that was coming, and now we have to sit here and, stimulate it a ton to get it back up and running again, just like we saw a few years ago. Okay, so that's number 3. Now, number 4 is recession warnings everywhere. Doesn't matter where you look, doesn't matter where you what you read, doesn't matter which economic report you're looking at, which signals you're looking at. There are economic reports out there everywhere. They're all pointing toward recession, warnings, recessions everywhere, okay? Now, obviously, you can also find the same discussion, the rebuttal on the other side saying, we're not anywhere close to a recession. But if you look at a lot of the very reliable indicators that are out there, a lot of things that are happening right now are signaling recession that we only see when recessions come in. So again, just want to throw that out there, okay? And I've said this before in other videos, a recession would certainly be a welcomed thing right now. We don't want to be here and be like, no, recession, go away. We don't want you, recession. This is my opinion. Please give us a recession. This is my opinion, okay? Why? It's going to reset a ton of different things. All this massive price increases that we've seen, it'll help bring prices down. It'll bring down inflation. It'll reset everything. It's not a bad thing. There's always this negative connotation about a recession. It's not that bad. Here's the thing. A deep, prolonged recession that lasts a very long time, that's bad. Just a real sharp, deep recession that happens relatively quickly, 4, 5, 6 months, it can happen that quickly. 7 months, 8 months, something like that. A couple quarters where, the economy just basically falls off a cliff, not a bad thing. The problem is when it lasts a very long time. That's when that's bad. But if we get a really quick, sharp, deep recession, real good, give us a real good one upside the head, you know what I mean? One of these, not a bad thing. Resets prices. It gives us a little bit more purchasing power. It helps us out. And again, they stimulate every single time with a recession. So that's out there as well. So this is number 4, recession, okay? Now, number 5, it's kind of like a mixed bag here, okay? You want a mixed bag for number 5? Well, good, because that's what I'm going to give you here, okay? So, weakness in the overall markets, as in stock markets, things like this, they're kind of weak here. We're seeing a lot of volatility all over the place, some weakness coming into the markets, a lot of indecision, and just people saying, I just don't really know what to believe right now. We got all these different indicators out there suggesting major recession warnings. We have growth indicators, all kinds of different things. So markets are very uneasy right now, and we're kind of really only one major crash away from a good old recession, okay? So that's number 1 that's subcategory 1 within number 5 of my mixed bag of number 5 here. Number 2 within number 5 mixed bag is other countries are stimulating. Have you seen what China has done recently? China recently announced massive stimulus. Guess what that's doing over there? They're seeing their economy contracting. Just like I said earlier, what happens? It's not just the United States. The United States is not special in any way, shape, or form. Even though, a lot of people out there, lawmakers and whatever, they think, oh, we're just some, special thing. The United States is no different than really a lot of other countries. China's doing the exact same thing that the United States does all the time. They're stimulating. Why? Their economy is not doing great. They're coming out plowing billions, hundreds of billions of dollars worth of stimulus into their economy. That's what China's doing, okay? No shock. Their economy's not doing great, so they're stimulating. They do the same thing every single time. United States does it, European countries do it, China does it, Japan does it, all of the countries. I mean, I don't need to single out any in particular country. They all do it. They all do the exact same thing. They all look at the same playbook every single time, and they do the same thing, okay? So that's another one here in my mixed bag. Any other subcategories? I had a whole bunch for you, but honestly, I'm just going to kind of leave it at that for now. I think I kind of made the case here a little bit, I hope anyway, but just overall softening in the economy. That's really what we need to look at. Remember, it's all about the economy. I know a lot of people don't believe this and think that it's just me blowing smoke and, oh my, it's not about the economy. It's all about how much we ask lawmakers for it. I'll tell you this much. The lawmakers don't hear a word we're saying, okay? It goes in one ear and right out the other. They don't listen to anything. They don't care. It's not about that. Okay, maybe they care. I shouldn't say that. Maybe they do care. That's fair. Okay, we'll give them that much. They care. But they don't do what we ask of them. That's not how it works. They stimulate the economy when we have a recession, okay? Just think of it this way. Look back. Okay, I would encourage you to do this. If you don't believe me on this, look back. Look at the recession from 2000 to 2001, the dot-com bubble implosion there. Look at that. We got stimulus during that time. Look it up if you don't believe me. 2008, 2009, the massive subprime, the housing market bubble, that boom and bust, that whole thing. Look back then. We got stimulus then as well. Okay, stimulus checks. That's what I'm referring to. And they also do stimulus overall in the overall economy. Basically, what happens when they stimulate an economy, they basically throw us a little bone called as a teeny tiny stimulus check in the grand picture of things. Kind of to keep us quiet. It's almost like a little hush money thing, right? They print up all this money, hundreds of billions of dollars, trillions of dollars. In the case of 2020, that recession, look back then, trillions of dollars, but usually it's hundreds of billions. But they print it all up and they basically just push it out everywhere. And then what they do is they distract us by throwing us a little bone called a stimulus check. And they say, here's $600. Get out of here, right? Here's $1,200. Just go look somewhere else, and so we can funnel all this money somewhere else, right? So anyway, I just want to throw that out there, okay? So that's what it comes down to. They stimulate in a variety of ways, and it happens every time with a recession. And the whole purpose behind it is that if a recession comes in, that means economic contraction, growth of the economy is stalled out or negative. What do they need? Money. That's what happens. Money stimulates. So they give money to the people like you and me and everybody else out there. They give us a little bit of money. $600, $1,200, $600, $1,800, $1,400, whatever it is. I don't know. They give us some money and they say, here, go buy some stuff. And then we say, thank you, and we go and buy some stuff. And then we're happy for like 3 minutes. That's it, okay? And then we stimulate the economy. That's it. Same old thing. Same old song and dance every single day. Or every time. Recession, I should say. Does that make sense? Anyway, I hope this helps you. But again, I'm going to leave it at that for now. I don't want this video to get too long here. As always, leave your comments, your questions, your feedback down below. If you want me to come back and elaborate on this further, I can gladly do so. I can jump on a live stream. Whatever you need from me, I will do it. Just let me know. Otherwise, leave a comment, question, feedback down below. Subscribe down below. Totally free to do so. Big old subscribe button. Join the other nearly 500,000 people here on the channel. Hit the like button. Big thumbs up button down below. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Otherwise, check out the other videos here on the channel. About 5,000 in the video library. The more popular videos I've hand-selected for you down below in the description or the top of the comment section. And right now showing up on your screen as well. You'll see some videos there. Check those out. Until next time, enjoy your day. Take care. Have a good one. And I'll catch you again later.